Hey there viewers, it's Charlie. I'm back again with another Transformers review, and today's review is going to be on Legacy Velocitron Speedia 500 Collection, Cosmos. Now, Cosmos, along with Override, are the only two new molds released in the Velocitron line. Everyone else is essentially either a recolor or a retool. So the fact that we actually did get some new molds for the Velocitron line is quite nice. Although there are pictures that show that Cosmos was going to be a retool of Origins Bumblebee. However, it is nice that they didn't go that way and instead made Cosmos a new mold. Now, taking a look at the packaging. Of course, we've got the G1 homage kind of packaging. So Cosmos would have been packaged in his vehicle mode. We've got the flap. Cosmos in his vehicle mode again. Got him in his robot mode. Another picture of his vehicle mode. This side, another picture of Cosmos. And the back, got him in both modes. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the packaging. And well, moving on to the figure. Of course, like always, he turns into a small little UFO. Or you could mount this onto your wall and have it be a big bulky doorbell if you want. Or you could press this button and just cause a huge explosion. Really, it's up to your imagination, but canonically, he is a UFO. Although I have identified it, so yeah. Well, taking a look at the vehicle mode, it's quite cute looking. I mean, sure, the little top section's a bit more taller than the previous incarnations, but still. So yeah, not really much to say here. I mean, we still have supports on the side. Of course, that's for plugging in his gun. Of course, you have a port in the back for the gun if you want. The underneath reveals a lot of yellow. So there's that. Of course, we have some detailing at the front with the Autobot insignia. Got a bit of silver there, which, unfortunately, the box does show an Autobot insignia there, but that seems to have been cut for the final release, which is rather sad, but oh well. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this mode. I mean, of course, it doesn't roll because there's no wheels, and I'm not really seeing any flight stand to plug it into, aside from the one at the back, so I guess you'll just have to use this one, but yeah, that's fine. Now, for accessories, of course, he comes with his gun. Well, is it blast effect compatible? Yes, it is. So if you want, you can just plug this into the side here. It is kind of a tight fit though. There we go. So you can just plug this into the side. So you can have him shoot the Decepticons in space if you want. Don't spoil the transformation yet. And you also get this white square, which is also a checkered flag. And what this is supposed to do is plug into the gun And now the gun itself is a flag for racing. Or if you turn it this way, it could be a surrender flag. And you can still plug the gun into the side if you want that going on, but you can also plug this into the back. I mean, sure you have a gun sticking out, but it's still weapon storage. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Overall, I quite like the vehicle mode. It's quite cute looking. It's definitely really nice. So yeah. Now, moving on to the transformation. Well, it's actually kind of more complicated than you think. I mean, seriously, when I first did this transformation, I was actually kind of surprised. So to start off, we're just going to unplug the arms from here. Lift these sections up. Get the legs down. I'm going to try and pull the back section out. Try not to pull this out. That's not meant to do that. So untap that. Pull out this entire back section. Try and get this plugged back in. There we go. So yeah, you want to try and get this section out. Pull out the entire back section. Get this tabbed in, which is actually quite challenging. There we go. So you want to push it in until you hear a click. There you go. Unplug the legs, move the feet. You want to spin these sections around so they form heels. Rotate this entire section around, move these little scat flaps down. Move that down. That now tabs in. Tab the shoulders in. Like so. Just checking to see if I've actually got it in fully, which I do. So yeah, get the shoulders tabbed in. Get the hands out. And finally, rotate the head around. And here we have Cosmos in robot mode. And yeah, that's definitely quite the crazy transformation. I mean, a lot of parts just flipping around. The way that the head just moves around. It's definitely quite a crazy transformation. I mean, seriously, like, both Cosmos and Override just have really crazy transformations. I don't know if it's like the new mold, like, thing or what, but seriously. Well, taking a look at the robot mode, I mean, of course, there are some hollow bits. For example, we've got the arms, where the hands used to be. These little sections here, but that's pretty much it. So yeah. Taking a look at the head. Of course, that is Cosmos's head, which is, well, of course, it's adorable. And of course, if you want, you can do this little hideaway mode, so he's like hiding his head, which is also I mean, seriously. It's not intended, but it's funny. Well, unfortunately, you can't do the same in vehicle mode, because there's something that makes it so you can't really flip around the head. Maybe it's like the back section, like pulling out and pushing in. But, well, of course, you can just give him his gun. And of course, this can fire via blast effect. And I think that looks really nice. Seriously. Although, let's be honest, I think most people are going to be displaying their Cosmos with the gun as the little handle for the flag. So yeah, you can either have it as like a surrender flag, or if you turn this around, it can be the flag for the race. Because pretty much, according to the lore for this Velocitron toy line, Cosmos is the one who starts the races. Which I actually find really, I just find it really nice. And of course, if you want, you can, of course, have blast effects in his legs or feet. Or you can just plug any fossilizers or weaponizers in there if you want, but for the sake of this, I'm just going to stick to what I've done before and put blast effects in there. So yeah. Now, of course, seeing how Cosmos was a mini vehicle back in the G1 toy line, of course he scales with the other mini vehicles. So, and if anything, I think he's actually a tad bit shorter. So if anything, he might be like the same size as Cliff Jumper, which is making me wish I got Bug by out, but oh well. So yeah. Now, moving on to the articulation. So if we just remove the gun. The head, well, the head's on a ball joint, so of course it can move around. It can look up, it can kind of look down, it can look into himself if you do that. And of course the head can tilt, and of course side to side. The arms can of course move. Got bicep rotation. Got an elbow. Hands can go in. Of course, well, in theory, he can T-pose, but QC has affected my Cosmos. Yeah, mine one's got yeah. The shoulder on my Cosmos is a bit loose, unfortunately. I mean, it is fixable with, like, floor polish or whatever, but seeing how often I'm quite lucky with QC, so I barely get like loose figures. If anything, like the only recent examples I can think of are my Studio Series Wheeljack and this. So I've never felt the need to like fix the loose joints. So this is definitely quite disappointing. Although your copy might not have this issue, but it's still disappointing. But I'm not like docking off points for that, because it is most likely just my copy. Well, the waist can of course swivel. You can kick forward. You can kick back. If you move the little hip skirts out of the way, of course you can do the splits. It has got a pivot, not that far though. It's got 90-degree knees, and this can swivel. I guess if you want, well, unfortunately, if you were to move the little heel out of the way, then you can move his foot as well. So yeah, quite poseable, although I am still bummed about the shoulder. But yeah, it's most likely just a QC issue, and your copy might not be affected by that. Who knows, maybe your copy might just have a loose leg instead. Who knows? I mean, I've had reports that Select Cyclonus has loose shoulders, but mine seems to be fine, so yeah. It all comes down to luck. But well, that's pretty much all I have to say about Velocitron Cosmos. So complaints, well, of course the shoulder, but of course QC issue, let's not go over that again. Although, one issue I have is, this back panel can come off quite easily, especially if you're trying to transform him. That is quite an issue. Another problem I have is, the heels could be kind of hard to tab in for robot mode, and I feel like I'm sort of stressing the plastic as well. It can also be kind of hard to get the legs, well, like this leg section tabbed in. Well, trying to make it not sound awkward, but like, trying to get the waist tabbed in for robot modes is also kind of tricky. But other than those issues, do I recommend this figure? Definitely. This is, I think this and Override are definitely the highlights of the Velocitron line so far. I mean, seriously. The fact that they actually gave us new molds instead of the retooling Hot Rod and Origins Bumblebee that they were going to do, it definitely shows. I mean, seriously, this is a really good figure. I mean, sure, I have heard that it's kind of short-packed, but if you can find it, I definitely do recommend it. This is a really fun figure. So yeah, this has been my review on Legacy Velocitron Cosmos, and this is Charlie Young, signing off.